5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I don't even know what's happening.
Put it in sport mode, and you're gonna fly.
Just exactly how awesome was it?
The mighty Nissan GT-R.
You got the Mustang, the Camaro, the Challenger, the Corvette, the Viper.
America.
Damn, I forgot the bananas.
I love this. Yeah, we'll do it live. Live. Yeah, we'll do it live. Hello, ladies, gentlemen, boys, girls. How is everyone doing today?
Fantastic.
Woohoo!
Today is Thursday, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Hi. It's Thursday. It means it's TopSpeed podcast. Like last week we were on Wednesday, so I'm getting all.
But we are a little
confused.
bit early this. We're a little early this week.
Well, you know, I have to admit, all day yesterday, like up until about noon, I thought it was podcast day, and I was getting ready for it. Yeah.
Nice.
You threw me
And
off.
you find out you have one extra day to the weekend.
Yeah, I know, right?
So, anyways, boys, girls, ladies, gentlemen, welcome. Welcome to our TopSpeed.com podcast. TopSpeed.com is your internet home for all the crazy, cool, and amazing things that are automotive based and on the internet. If it has a motor and wheels, we like to talk about it. So, I'm going to say hello really quick to anybody who's watching live on our little chat window. We hope you guys show up and we like you.
Yes, we do.
So I hope we're on long enough for Hulty to join us in case Hulty didn't get the we're starting early message, because he always joins us and we like him. But anyways, let's get this thing moving a little bit. As always, I am Christian Moe. I'm hanging out with you guys today, and we are joined by our editor-in-chief, Justin Coupler. Hi, Justin.
Hello, everybody. I hope all is well with all you guys.
All right, and joining us is also Mr. Mark McNabb, our bearded wonder.
That's right. The bearded wonder. Yes. I'm doing fine. How about yourself, Christian? I don't think anyone's ever asked you how you are doing, sir. Are you okay?
No, I'm not, but...
That's not a question you want to ask because it's going to take an hour to get through the whole thing. So
No.
stop.
Back
No,
on cars.
I'm not okay yet, but... Okay, I've been energy drinked. I'm great. So let's get this show moving.
Promo plug.
Woo! Hey, whoa. Okay, so this is cranberry. That caught me a little off guard.
Cranberry's only good with vodka.
Well, so this is... You know what? I wonder if that's why they made this, because this is like Red Bull has weird flavors now, and normally when I'm on the show, I'm not drinking a Red Bull because they're more expensive than what I want to pay for it. The energy drinks I buy normally are cheaper. But someone gave me this, so I'm like, okay, I'll drink it. But it's cranberry flavored. But yeah, that makes sense. People drink Red Bull vodka, so having cranberry flavored Red Bull makes a lot of sense.
There you go.
We have decoded the Red Bull master plan. All right. Again, this is the TopSpeed.com podcast. If you are watching us live, we thank you. If you cannot make it to watch us live and you like the audio stream only, you can subscribe to us on the iTunes. There are links and all the little doobly-doos everywhere. If you want to, you subscribe and you like us, go ahead and leave us a little rating. We appreciate that, and we read all the reviews that are on there as well. I have one quick announcement to make, and that is about video game awesomeness. So video games are cool, especially car video games. We all like them. As you guys saw last week, I've got a new video card to do some testing for Grid Autosport. The people for The Next Car Game, which if you haven't heard of that, check it out. It's really cool. It's a smashing, crashing, explosions sort of stuff in a racing game. It's all new, coming soon, all modern consoles, next generation sort of thing. And they've also got some 4K stuff coming out, so I'm going to be testing some of that as well. So if you guys are interested, keep your eyes on the site. But let's go ahead and jump into the actual show, the meat of things. We have our weekly wheels. I'm going to start things out because I have two cars, so I'm going to start and end it. The first one...
You're just lucky. Just stop bragging.
Well, I just didn't want to talk about two cars because then it'll just be me talking for like 100 hours. And I wanted to give you guys a chance to express your opinions. So anyways, we're going to start with the Avalon Hybrid, which I actually kind of liked, which was weird.
Well,
You liked a hybrid 4-door?
Yeah. Well, okay. So to me, it was a lot like what the Lexus should have been.
yeah, I would agree with that.
So I was in the limited model. So I mean, I was like the top of the range. Deck spec has all the gizmos, gadgets, bobs, whatnots. Like there's dead cow everywhere. It's all super soft. The interior of the new Avalon looks so good. It's like really sculptured, and there's like lots of 3D elements, and like things are stacked and stick out from each other, and it's just very, very nice to look at and see. So I was like, heck yeah, we'll rock some of that. And then like it was obviously really quiet, like a Lexus and Toyota high-end products are.
Yeah.
Again, I had leather everywhere. I had heated and cooled seats. The cooled seats actually worked this time,
Oh,
unlike
nice.
they did in my Lexus.
Uh-oh.
And I got good fuel economy out of it too.
Yeah. What was your numbers?
I got 38.5. Sticker says I should get 39.
That's not too bad.
Well, especially considering I spent a lot of time with the rev limiter maxed. So along with the sport button, this CVT has like a sport shifty thing, and you put it over into the little sport shift mode, and it'll automatically shift 1 and 2. But once you hit third gear, it'll rev to 5,700 RPMs, and it'll just stick there. Just go wang, so you can haul everywhere. I mean, you were moving quickly.
Wow. See, when I drove that car, I didn't really like that CVT at all. It pretty much, I mean, it wasn't the worst CVT I've ever had. That would go to the Prius, but I mean, it kind of killed the fun. So I left it in drive the whole time. I never really played with the stick.
Oh no! See, having it in drive was awful.
It just might be the hybrid side of it, because I really enjoyed my time in the Avalon. It was a great car, and like you say, Lexus everywhere. I mean, this car was very nice. All the amenities were spectacular, and I imagine none of that really changed with having a hybrid powertrain. So
No, like it was really nice. So this is also my favorite hybrid of the bunch that I've driven. So the Prius has a 1.8 liter with the batteries and motor, and the Lexus had the 3.5 with the batteries and motor. And the 3.5 didn't feel fast, and it swallowed fuel. Fuel economy was terrible.
yeah,
The 1.8 wasn't fast, but it was very fuel efficient. This one has a 2.54, and the total horsepower for the system is 200 horsepower. So like it fits right in the middle. Like the car is kind of heavy. It's like 3,600 pounds, but it's not super heavy. And so that 200 horsepower was enough to get me moving and feel like I was moving at a quick pace whenever I wanted it to. Plus, I had the fuel economy. So like it was that nice mix. Like it was what I wanted the RX to be, but wasn't. Plus interior space. Dear God, that hybrid or that Avalon is huge.
yeah, it's big, and that trunk is massive too.
Yeah, like except for the trunk height issue on the back of the RX, it would not surprise me a tiny bit if someone from Toyota called me and were like, "Yeah, the Avalon's bigger than the RX." Like in people space, that car is totally bigger than the RX in people volume. It's just the cargo volume.
Legroom is spectacular in that car.
Yeah,
rear
so
seat legroom is great.
if I slide the driver's seat all the way forward and I sit in the back seat, I can almost stick my legs completely out before I touch the back seat.
That's impressive.
There's so much room back there. But yeah, so I drove it. I thought, hey, power doesn't suck, and fuel economy doesn't suck, and the leather is really nice. The audio system kind of sucks, but like otherwise, I'm like, this is a great luxury car, and people who want to buy luxury cars will buy this thing. If you are looking at a Lexus, like an ES, just go buy the Avalon.
Yes, please.
Actually, to be fair though, my Avalon was really expensive. I didn't have a window sticker on it, but the limited trim starts at like 48 grand. So it is a little more expensive than an ES.
Yeah, I remember my Avalon costing a pretty penny. It wasn't. I really don't remember how much it was, but yeah, I mean it was rather expensive for that car.
Let's see, do you have a sticker?
42,000.
Okay, and you didn't have the hybrid. Was yours?
No, mine was
yours the limited trim also.
Mine is the 4-door limited. Yep, and it had the technology package, the QI wireless charging tray, and the carpeted floor mat trunk mat.
Is that Qi wireless charger thing not the coolest thing in the world?
It would be if it worked with every phone and you didn't have to have a
Case for it. Well, yeah.
case. Yeah. So
I
didn't get to try it.
I have an Apple product, so I didn't get to use it. No, but I dig it. Like I like the idea. I've had
the
phones
idea is
with
really
wireless
cool.
charging before.
If I owned the car, heck yeah, I would go buy the case like tomorrow. But I wasn't gonna buy the case for a week. You know.
Okay, so the limited Avalon Hybrid, it appears. I'm doing all of the googling for you guys right now.
You're so great.
I'm trying. So yeah, the Hybrid Limited starts at 41. So I had all the options, so I think mine would have been about 45. So actually, that's a really solid price.
Yeah, I mean, for just $3,000 more than what mine cost. Yeah. Did yours have the technology package as well?
Yeah, I had the everything packages.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's a great car. I think for the kind of the older, about to retire / retired crowd, not looking to spend a whole lot of Lexus money, but they still want that kind of Lincoln Town car feel. I think the Avalon's a good deal.
You know what my favorite part of it is? The radar-guided cruise control. You can shut the radar-guided part off.
Yes.
There are a lot of cars you can't do that. But so on the steering wheel, there's a little knob. You push the button to turn it on. You click it down to set your cruise, and you push it up to resume your cruise or whatever, and you pull it towards you to cancel. When you first hit to turn the cruise on, you can push the stick away from you, and up on the dashboard it says radar ready. It'll blink for a second, and then it'll just say cruise control. So you don't have to deal with the fact that the Avalon can see a car 9 miles ahead of me, and it's going to start slowing me down because there's a car 9 miles ahead of me.
But you can adjust that distance there too.
Right, you can adjust the following distance. But what it does is if you're coming up on a car that's going slower, when it can first see the car, it sees that it's going slower, and it begins to slow you down. And then once you reach that distance, it'll hold you at that exact speed at that distance.
Yeah. That's because technically that's the way you're supposed to drive.
Christian, you're not supposed to pass to the shoulder, Christian.
Well, no, but okay. So if somebody is slow in the left lane, I'm coming up behind them. If they see me, they'll move over, right? The problem is, way before I'm close enough for them to even worry about moving over, the Lexus or the Avalon will slam on the brakes and start to slow me down, and then I'd get closer to the guy, and the guy would move over, and then because there's nobody in front of me now, it would rev the snot out of the engine and launch me like a rocket to get back up to whatever speed I was at.
That's weird because I've never had a radar cruise control that acted like that. I had them where they slow down as you approach, but it's 2 or 3 or 4 car lengths to start slowing down. Then
I was going to say, I had that same system on mine. It didn't really,
Now, one issue I have had is if someone turns in front of you, say someone in front of you is going and then they turn, they tend to slam on the brakes and they don't sense a car in front of you is gone, and it kind of throws the whole system to an error, then it almost comes to a complete stop. But I've never had it where on the highway it stopped that soon and accelerated that quickly. They're usually nice and smooth.
Well, so part of the problem is the highway that I live on. It's a 55-mile-an-hour highway.
And you do 105.
No. A lot of people, because everyone in Tennessee is really lazy, nobody wants to walk, they will literally pull out of their driveway, make it 3 blocks down, and then pull back into somebody else's driveway to go visit their neighbors. And that sort of stuff happens all the time on this road, and people drive about 30, 35. So I'm driving, and someone pulls out ahead of me going 35, and I'm going 55. And so the system's there's a huge discrepancy there, and it does. So it slams on the brakes and brings me down to 35 miles an hour, and they immediately pull off. And then the system's oh, there's no more car there anymore, and I'm going 30, and it wants me to go 55, so it hammers the gas to get me back up to 55. And I also ran into some issues on the interstate where a lot of the interstates in Tennessee are really twisty. So yeah, the road ahead of me will turn and I'm still on the straight bit, and so it looks like a car pulls in front of me, and the system will freak out and just hammer the brakes because I'm going 75 miles an hour and suddenly there's a car in front of me.
That's really weird because most of them use the lane recognition system to tell if the car's in the same lane as you, and it can tell.
I know. I thought
that sounds like a weird flaw in that system. That's quirky.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't really have those issues with mine.
I've always worried about that going around a turn, but I've never experienced it.
It only happened twice, and like I said, to be fair, some of the interstates around here are twistier than most people's lake roads in most parts of the country. I mean, there are some seriously sharp turns. But yeah, I was wait a minute.
I know where you live, Christian. My favorite twisty turn in the interstate is that exit getting off of the 40-75 split going to Lenore City. It's my favorite. Hitting that about 80 is great.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah, no, so I was coming up through towards Cookville. I was coming down through the Crossville area. And so you're coming down off the mountains and it twists a lot. And this car was far enough ahead of me and the system was like, what the heck is going on? You're going to crash and die. So,
Is that the voice control system?
yes. It popped in and said, you're going to crash and die. All right.
We
Anyways,
should probably talk about Justin's car.
We're gonna move on. I was driving something luxurious and slow. Oh hey, I've got questions on the thingy. My Jeep will do that cruise control thing too, says Spins. So I keep the distance setting as close as I can. You have 4 choices, and I refuse to use the other 4 settings. The other 3 I can't count. Or the other 3 he can't count. Again, even when I had the setting on the closest one, Spins, like it would still see a car way out ahead of me, and depending on the speed difference between us, it would start to slow me down dramatically way before I reached that distance. So I'm
gonna have to try that this week.
Yep. But anyways, we're gonna talk about Justin's car, which is way more luxurious than mine. So Justin.
Yeah, and a whole hell of a lot more fast. I had some time behind the wheel of a 2015 Kia K900.
Ooh.
Yeah, is right. You know, when Hyundai brought the Equus, it's like, okay, cool. Hyundai's gonna roll this luxury brand and kind of keep it to itself and not share it. Well, so as it happens, they decided to share it with Kia. And out comes the K900, and this is my first time behind the wheel of either the Equus or the K900. And I was kind of excited to get the car, but I was also a tad bit scared because I had so many high hopes for it. I was so excited to get it. I was kind of scared that it was going to completely fall on its face and be terrible. And it was the anti-terrible. $66,000 was the out-the-door price. That includes a $6,000 upgrade to the VIP package. That VIP package gets you the advanced smart cruise control that Christian hates oh so much, advanced vehicle stability management, power door latches, which is one of the most badass things I've ever seen. So you close the door, okay, and say you don't get the door closed all the way. It actually pulls the door tight for you and shuts it. Kind of like the old school Cadillacs where you could pull the trunk lid down and just latch it and close it for you. So no slamming the doors, just push it and it closes nice and softly for you. Also had a 12.3-inch cluster, surround view monitor. I mean, everything was on this car. Whatever you could think of was on it. I'm surprised it didn't launch off and go to outer space somewhere. But the big thing about this car is the 5.0-liter TOW engine. That is, I'm sorry to say, I've driven a bunch of cars, but I've never gotten into the big V8s yet. I haven't had that luck yet to get a big V8, and this is the first one I've had a chance to experience in a big luxury car, and it hauled ass. 60 miles an hour in about 5.5 seconds, give or take. It's not overwhelmingly fast by no stretch of the imagination. But in a car that weighs, I think this is somewhere around 5,000, maybe even over 5,000 pounds. Or no, I mean 4,000, over 4,000 pounds.
About to say 5,000 pounds, holy crap!
Yeah. Sorry,
You built it from lead.
Yeah, I can't count that. I meant 4,000 pounds. This thing gets up and moves.
It's got a whole church in the back.
Yeah, and it's armor plated too.
Well, it is a canine unit.
Yeah, really. But
I couldn't pass that.
Oh God, Mark, why do I invite you on this thing?
Okay.
Because you like my lame jokes.
Well, no, we like to laugh at them. We laugh at them, not with them.
No, I'm just laughing at you.
But 420 horsepower, 367 pound-feet of torque. One thing I didn't really like is the transmission. Even in sport mode, it's kind of slushy. When you really gas it and go to accelerate quickly from a rolling start, so you're going 30 miles an hour and you gun it, the engine winds out well before the transmission really ever engages. So you get this really weird, then the transmission downshifts and slams you back.
No, see, that's Kia letting you experience the exhaust note of the TOW V8.
Exactly. It's almost what it seems like. It seems like, okay, let's make this delay a little bit so it feels a whole hell of a lot faster than it really is. But they don't need to do that. Now, this is kind of touted as an alternative to the 5 Series, 6 Series, or maybe the Mercedes E-Class somewhere in that range. But the issue is it's not the driver of those cars. You get in a BMW 5 Series or 6 Series, it's a point-and-go kind of car. They ride and handle as well as they drive. Yeah. Same with the Mercedes. This is pure luxury. It's really nice and smooth, but if you take it in the corners, things get a little bit scary. A whole lot of body roll, not much feeling out of the steering wheel. Just not a fun car to really hammer around turns. So that's kind of your trade-off with this. You're getting $100,000 worth of features for 66 grand. So,
But
yeah,
are they
that's-
$100,000 good?
Yes.
No. So again.
Okay, listen. All the long-term tests of the Honda Equus are out of this world. Nobody has ever said anything bad on a long-term test on Equus. Or two, this thing has cowhide everywhere you could possibly want it. The only place it's not is the same place BMW and Mercedes don't put it, down on the lower end where your feet are. Everything else is covered in cowhide. The rear seats recline, shading in the back seat. You have shades on the back, shades on the side, a 17-speaker sound system that sounds like a concert, a 12-inch display that's perfect navigation, that's perfect. I can't find, and real wood, not fake wood, real wood trimming. I can't find any flaw. I tore this thing apart, up, down, left, right, found very, very, very few things wrong with it. Only real big thing I can take issue with is the backseat AC controls, which are hidden in the center console, actually control the front AC as well.
Oh shit!
That is an issue.
That's a terrible idea.
But hang on, I have to add to that. There may be a way to turn it off, but whoever had this car before me decided to steal the owner's manual, so I wasn't able to look up how to actually turn it off. I'm sure there's a way too, but I couldn't quite figure it out.
Steal or forgot to put back.
I jokingly steal. Yeah, they probably forgot to put it back. Yeah.
Because I've done that twice.
Yeah. I would never accuse someone of stealing. That's just a term I don't mean it literally.
Like I pull it out and I set it on my desk because I want to figure something out, and then they come to get the car and I go back into the house. I'm like, oh crap. I usually get it back to them the next week. So.
Oddly enough, the included umbrella, they include an umbrella in the trunk and the slice of the latch is long gone.
Oh yeah, I'd say that probably didn't last. The problem with things that come out like that though is like you want to use them, but just like any normal like an umbrella, well I use it and I set it down over here, or I set it down over there, and you kind of forget about it because it's just an umbrella, and then the car leaves and you're like, oh well crap, I found this umbrella 4 weeks later.
Yeah. So I've actually found like $500 pair of sunglasses in a car before. So yeah, us journalists tend to leave stuff in cars and take stuff out and forget them, and yeah. But overall,
I'd be so mad if my sunglasses were.
Because I found them in a car and I looked them up online. I'm like, ooh, these are kind of pricey. I better give these back. So I sent them off to the fleet company, and they gave them back. I don't know. But
thank you for being nice about it, because there are a lot of people who would have been like $500 sunglasses.
Cha-ching. But overall, the K900 is a really cool car. It's a nice, unique car from Kia. The issue is that Kia is not selling them. I have a couple friends in Kia dealerships, and they're really not selling them. They sold, the Kia dealer I know, he sold one since it's come out. And they literally had to cut their own throats to sell it. They gave it away pretty much. They made almost no profit. It's basically just a free advertisement. They could say, hey, look, we're Kia, we can make luxurious stuff, so buy our lower-end cars with all the features.
Right. Well, but again, it's the same problem Hyundai had with the Equus. Nobody wants to pay $60,000 for a Kia. It's just like the VW Phaeton, which failed horrendously because nobody wanted to pay $80,000 for a freaking Volkswagen.
But it was a great car.
Yeah, it was a great car. If anyone likes the Bentley, the Bentley that's out now, the Continental, it is 90% VW Phaeton. That's where all the engineering for that car came. But it's got a Bentley badge on it, so people will happily pay $200,000 for it. Whereas before, with an $80,000 price tag, they didn't want it because it said VW. People pay for badges.
Yeah, but what they're really catering to are the people that aren't brand-centric, people that aren't reliant on a badge on the front. But the majority of people, I'll give you this, the majority of people that buy luxury cars like that are badge followers. They'll follow BMW until it crashes and burns. They'll keep on following, but they're catering to the younger crowd that's still getting into the luxury realm and not stuck on a certain brand. And they walk into a Mercedes dealership and see $80-some thousand for loaded out E-Class, and then they say, well, I can get the Kia with the same features. Maybe I'll look at that. They can't afford $1,100 a month, but they can afford $700.
Yeah, well, I think, and I've spent a lot of time with Hyundai too, and they've kind of done their homework on this. They're doing the BMW thing. They've got the lower end cars that get you hooked as, the lower class worker. Then they've got the Sonata. Then they've got the Genesis, and it works you up. And then you buy the the Elantra when you retire. I mean, like, of course, but it's the progression of cars, and I think that's exactly what Kia's wanting to do as well.
Yeah, they're just trying to get brand loyalty, and then eventually people may start buying these premium cars. At worst, like I said, it's giving people the vision that Kia can do luxury. So people aren't afraid to buy a loaded-out Sonata and spend probably $40,000.
I'll say this too. Lexus had that same problem when they first came out. Who
Exactly.
wanted to pay more for a Toyota?
Right. I mean, I guess the thing that I have is when Lexus first came out, yeah, nobody wanted to buy them because it's this weird Japanese brand, but whatever. But they did start lower. They didn't jump out. So, like, they came out and they're like, we're going to make a nice luxury car more like a C-class competitor. Not, we're going to go straight for the E's and the S's. $60,000, $70,000. Let's jump in there and show them what we can do. They sort of kind of came in on the middle ground, like, let's look at like $40,000 cars. Good job, guys. Be luxurious.
True.
Yeah, but in this modern game of who can outdo who, there's no more room for playing around. No more room of saying, well, let's try easing into this. Let's jump in, feet first, see what happens. Nowadays, people aren't waiting. People aren't going to say, well, we'll let Kia build. And Kia's had its time to build. They've made their cars more luxurious over the years. They really have. Sure, you're not going to sit there and compare a Sonata to a 3 Series, but if someone walks into a BMW dealership and can't afford a 3 Series with the base features, they could probably afford a loaded-out Sonata and say, well, this has the same features. I think that's what they're grabbing at. That's really what they're grabbing for, the people that walk into dealers and can't quite swing that payment but want the features.
I think this is why me and you always disagree on cars. Because you're always looking at that option sheet. And I could not give a single shit less.
Yeah, well...
like cars, I actively seek out cars without navigation, without heated seats, without sunroofs. Because sunroofs leak, and all navigation systems in all cars are utterly terrible. And if they're not utterly terrible right now, wait 3 months when they're 5 years outdated, and they're utterly terrible then. And I hate heated seats because it adds weight. They cook me, and I don't want them to. Half the time they don't work right, or they're either way too cold or way too hot. The switches break. It's just a bunch of crap I don't want. And I hate car companies because a lot of them are doing this now because they've learned that actually will sell cars. You get a cheap car with, look, you've got navigation and power windows and 40-zone air conditioning and all of these fancy little bits and baubles, and you can do Pandora and you can do all that stuff, and your car is only $19,000. All those systems suck. Everything in your car is built out of the cheapest plastic in the entirety of the universe, but you can say you've got navigation and Bluetooth and Pandora and everything else, and people buy it, and it makes me so angry.
Well, you may think they suck, but before you
suck.
Before you pass judgment on what Hyundai and Kia have done, I suggest going out and driving one.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to pass judgment on the K900 because I've not driven it. I'm not going to pass judgment there, but like. You're right. There are a lot of people who are like, man, I can't believe this BMW has absolutely nothing in it, and it's so much money. And then when I go look at this other cheap car, it has all these fancy things I want. Like you can get, I think it's a Chevy Sonic now with Wi-Fi in it, and it's like $19,000 for this car with Wi-Fi and navigation, like all this crap in it. But like, no, the base Sonic is a good car, but a lot of the stuff that they're putting into it isn't that good.
Well, I mean, honestly. Every single manufacturer, from Bentley all the way down to Tata Motors, go with the cheapest bidder. Whoever gives them the cheapest number for the most amount of stuff, they're going to sign that deal with them. I don't care what manufacturer it is. They're going to sign that cheapest deal. So Kia got the cheapest deal in its letter. BMW got the cheapest deal in its letter, and I will bet that cow was sourced from the same farm, processed by the same company, just sold from different distributors. One distributor happens to be based out of Italy, the other one happens to be based out of South Korea.
Maybe, but that's a different thing. Like that's not just like beyond things like, okay, I have leather interior. Like a lot of the equipment that they're cramming in these cars, because yeah, when you're trying to sell a car for $19,000, you're going to put even cheaper stuff inside of it. You're going to find even cheaper speakers and even cheaper screens and even cheaper Bluetooth modules and all that stuff to get your car below that certain price.
Well, one thing you have to look at is the margin. Look at the margin between a profit on a BMW and look at the profit on a Kia.
Yes,
if you can
there's
find
a bigger margin.
the margin, it's exponential. It's going to be a massive difference. BMW is taking the same crap that everyone else is putting in their car and charging 2 times as much for it.
Except they're not, though, because the iDrive system is better than almost any other system out there.
You connect.
It's not great, because no system inside of a car is great.
You connect.
But okay, well, but
Thank
okay.
you.
I like Uconnect.
Uconnect does a good job. But like, so if I'm just looking at a base 3 series when I'm looking at a car, again, I couldn't give a crap about what kind of equipment is in this car. When I sit inside a 3 series and you shut the door and it sounds like it's made of stone and nothing squeaks, nothing rattles, you can press on everything, nothing gives, it's all built like a tank and it feels good, that's what I want to buy. I want to buy bits and bobbles and flashing lights.
You close the door of a Kia K900, thud.
But I'm not talking about a K900.
But
I'm just talking about in general.
But I'm telling you, we're focusing on a K900 here. Because you're saying I'm too busy looking at option sheets. I'm not looking at option sheets. I look at total quality. I mean, I talked about the Honda Fit. I talked about the Honda Fit last week. It has all these cool options, but ultimately they don't fit the car. I'm not looking purely at option sheets. I know, which direction to go here.
But this whole conversation started because you're like, I can't afford a 3 Series. I'm going to get a Sonata. That was a thing you said.
For someone who walks into it,
beat this horse till it's dead.
Yeah. Look at the new Sonata, though. Look at the new Sonata that Mark drove. Look at that, loaded to the gills. Go drive one, then go drive a base level 3 Series. Yes, I'm not saying you can expect the same kind of driver. I already said that. You're not going to get the same kind of driving car. But I'm talking someone who's feature-based, someone who wants the features, wants the options, and wants reliability. Because no BMW, I'm sorry you can argue this, you're blue in the face, no BMW is more reliable than any other vehicle on the planet.
I'm not going to argue that at all.
And then when you go to the dealer, they charge you 3 times as much.
Hold on, wait. Time out. I got one quick thing I need to throw in here from our chatty comments. Fins, my Jeep, because we were talking about the Jeep that he has with the cruise control, has a bunch of fancy stuff in it that costs quite a bit of money. But at least one of those fancy things doesn't work at any given time. It's random.
That's Jeep.
I want to know what Jeep he has. What do you have? Like a Grand Cherokee?
Probably a Grand Cherokee.
That's how I would assume.
Well, give us the specs on that and let us know what you think. So anyway, God, I've lost my thought.
You know what? We just need to move on.
One last final thought. The majority of people who want to buy a car aren't really caring about how it drives like the ultimate driving machine. They want heated butt seats.
Not even just drive, quality, like the way the damn thing is built.
Have you been in a Hyundai lately?
Yes, I've been in lots of Hyundais lately.
All right, case closed. Anyway, this past week...
Okay, you know what? Go drive a fucking... Go drive a Passat.
Easy.
Go. You think the Sonata is so awesome? Go drive a freaking Passat and then shut your mouth.
Hey, I give it. I'm sure the Passat is great. I'm sure it is awesome. But I'm not discounting Hyundai.
Mark, talk to me about a family hauler.
Quality?
We got them all flustered.
Quality?
Energy beverage.
Quality? Luxury? Yukon Denali. That's what I was in a couple weeks ago. $71,000 big. I was running like a gangsta in 22-inch rims.
Are they chrome rims?
Yeah, they were like chrome with like paint inserts. It was really
cool. Actual chrome?
Probably not.
Okay.
I don't. Yeah, they're plastic. But
yeah,
it looks good.
Because I had an Acadia Denali, and the guy who had it before me curbed one of the rims, and yeah, it was like a plastic chrome sheet over this nasty aluminum rim.
Yeah, I mean, the gray metal parts were actual like alloy, but if you tapped on the chrome-looking pieces that were inserted, it was plastic. But
okay.
Who does that? At least it's not like the Ford Explorer that had chrome rims that were all hubcaps.
Yeah.
So anyway, oh my God. So anyway, yeah, 6.2-liter V8. It's basically the Corvette LT1 engine that it has. 420 horsepower, 460 pound-feet of torque, 6-speed automatic transmission, rear-wheel drive, but it did have the G80 locking differential. It had everything. Power running boards, power sunroof, navigation. You saw the video. It was pretty sweet. I have no complaints about the truck. I towed with it. Yeah, I would. If I had 70 grand to blow on a car, why not?
Now here's the question: is it worth the extra? What is it? $5,000 of entrance fee to get into the Escalade? Are the features that much better in the Escalade, or
Okay.
are you paying for a badge?
Here's my theory. Okay, I want a nice 7-passenger SUV that's got everything, but I don't want to look like a rap star or a Hollywood socialite. I just want the car. You get the GMC Denali. I want all that, plus I want the cachet of, hey, look at me, I'm driving an Escalade. You pay the $5 grand more. So it's basically the same truck, but different markets.
You know what I think you really should do? Skip the Denali, stay with the base Yukon, and you can add all the options except for the chrome grille and 22-inch rims and save like $4,000.
True, I did that on the build sheet, but you don't get a couple of the options, the power running boards, which you can get aftermarket. You don't get
so
the nice.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. There's options on the Denali that you cannot get on the upscale model Yukon. If
So
you put
that's a
every
new
option,
thing.
yeah, the power running boards, the trim, let's see, the dash inserts and stuff like that, a little bit different stuff. So I mean, you're getting a little bit of exclusivity with the Denali that you don't get with the upscale base Yukon.
Okay, well then I will withdraw my statement because it used to be with the older Denalis, especially like the Acadia or with the Sierra 2500 HD Denali, like you could get all of the same options except for like the chrome rims and the chrome front grille that's like Denali specific and save like all the money in the world.
Yeah, no, I mean, it is about $4,000 difference between the two, the base model Denali and the upscale Yukon, but there is a couple things that aren't there that some people just would really like. I fell in love with those power running boards. They're just perfect.
Those are the coolest thing in the whole wide world.
They fell right exactly where they needed to be. They kept your pant leg from getting dirty in case you ran into mud or anything like that. You're not touching the bottom of the car. They look amazing, and they fold up in perfect timing. And there's an option to turn them off or leave them deployed if you wanted to. So,
like, I want those on every car I own.
yeah.
I don't need them on my Golf, but they're just cool.
I can see a Golf with running boards deploying out of the bottom. It's like a half an inch off the ground.
Let's say it would just ground the car. They'd be like jack stands. And the Golf just
That'd be
lifts.
awesome. It'd be like F1.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, I had no real complaints about the car except for trying to figure out some of the parts of the infotainment system, trying to get a DVD to play in the back, and I couldn't get it to play over the speakers. It would just do the headphones, and I called OnStar. Just, I'm going to try it. I'm going to try OnStar. 45 minutes later, and about 4 or 5 transfers,
Holy crap.
someone finally was like, all right, I'm going to look in the manual and see. And I'm like, and they put me on hold. I hung up. I looked in the manual, found the answer, and then they called me back, and they were like, oh, I'm sorry, Mr. McNabb, we got disconnected. I'm like, I found it. Thanks. And they're like, where was it?
Please let us know. Look yourself.
Like, I'm sure OnStar is a great service, and this is the first time I've used it, but you would think that someone would know the procedures of how to do that certain thing really quickly on one of the latest products they have. So, not passing judgment, but just saying, hey, you might want to watch out. So anyway, I mean, the car is great. I have no complaints about it. It sucks gas, but it is a big SUV. I did get about 20 miles per gallon on the highway with it, so you can't
That's
complain.
actually terrible.
With a 420 horsepower V8, yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I averaged about 17 with the K900. I had my
And
foot.
my toes 8,000 pounds.
I had my foot in the fan about every time I had the chance to. So.
Oh my gosh, dude. Yeah.
All right, we're going to do one more quick check-in with Finn's. He does have a 2014 Grand Cherokee Overland. He says it's a great car. It's a road juggernaut. It can be fun to drive, but little things annoy the living shit out of him.
Okay, I want to know. Please, Finn, tell us, because I want that car bad. The Overland is amazing. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
The only
Except maybe the
Cherokee I
Trailhawk.
want, the only Cherokee I want has the 3-liter Eco diesel.
Oh, what an amazing engine. Don't get me started on that thing.
All right, so we've
I
talked
rue the day
about
when
lots
Dodge
and lots of
was.
luxury. We have talked about all sorts of luxury between the Avalon and the Kia and the Yukon. So
Now
let's.
we're going to talk about something that doesn't have seat heaters, that doesn't have any options, but that drives.
It did have seat heaters actually. I had decked out.
Just rip them out.
$32,000 I was in for a Miata. A car that you can get for $23,500, I was in a $32,000 model of.
Okay,
And
that seems
I would
expensive,
pay
but I want everything it
$40,000.
has.
I would pay $40,000 for that car.
Yeah.
So I was in the power retractable hardtop model. With I was in the Grand Touring package, so I had leather seats and slightly upgraded rims and like little chrome trim on the door handles and that sort of stuff. HID headlights, which are great. I love HIDs.
So it was like the Miata Denali, right?
Essentially the Miata Denali. And then I also had every option. So I had the sport package, which by the way, if you buy a Miata and you don't buy the sport package, I will personally drive to your house and beat you to death with a fish.
It's an awesome. It's what, like $650?
It's $650.
Bilstein shocks. The Bilstein shocks alone cost that much.
You get Bilstein shocks with revised damping on the whole suspension system, and you get a limited slip rear diff for $650.
That's the best option package of any car ever.
Ever. So yes, I'm in a Miata, and I hate power retractable hardtops, but this one does it perfectly. So trunk space to go from the soft top to the hard top, you lose absolutely nothing. Miata has used voodoo and witchcraft to cram the hard top into the exact same hole the soft top used to go into. It doesn't matter if the top is up or down, you can still access the trunk. The top fits in its own little bucket that never approaches into the rear trunk at all. So like a lot of cars, like if you get like a 3 Series convertible or like an Audi A4 convertible or whatever, like the trunk lifts off and all the top just folds into there. So you can have the top down or you can put things in it. You can't do both. Miata exactly opposite of that. Yeah. Also, your Lexus, how long does it take to put the top up?
About 20 seconds.
Okay. With the Miata, I can take the top down and put it back up in almost the same amount of time.
That gum.
Yep, it has one of the fastest tops in the entire world. It is like 11.8 seconds.
See, I really enjoy just watching mine. I don't care if it takes 30 seconds. I just sit there and
You say you don't care if it takes 30 seconds, but the moment it starts piss-pouring rain, you're going to care a lot.
Okay, well, one of the things I do complain, and you're going to have the same complaint, is that most or some hardtop convertibles will let you do it up to 30 miles an hour, like you can control it. But no, you got to be in park with your foot on the brake. And
Miata's that way. You have to, like, so I had the manual, so you have to be in neutral. Yes. So you obviously have to be on the brake or have the e-brake on to make it work. And that's a big problem between a lot of cars, and they vary wildly. So, like, some cars will let you do it. Like the Audi R8, you can put the top up and down, even though it's soft top. You put the top up and down on that up to speeds of, I think, 26 or something. 370Z convertible, dead stop. Ferrari 458, dead stop. The Fiat 500 convertible, 56 miles an hour. You can move and lower that thing.
That's
awesome.
That's a freaking sunroof. It's not a convertible top.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I will give
it's
Lexus
a sunroof that goes from the windshield to the bumper.
It's called a target top.
Yeah. It's not a convertible. I hate when people call it a convertible. It's like you call the Juke a hatchback.
The Juke is a hatchback.
The Jeep Liberty had that too. And Finn will appreciate that.
Yeah, my K900 had a panoramic sunroof. It's convertible.
Okay, did the whole thing fold off?
Well, no, but shut up.
Okay, when the entire roof is gone, when the entire roof is completely gone to nearly the rear bumper, I'm gonna let that be called a convertible.
When I can reach up top and grab the top of the door and still touch metal, that's not a convertible. Because you have the upper pillar still in place on the 500. The top of the doors are still there because they're not pillarless.
Right, doesn't matter. It's a convertible. Anyways, moving on from your wrongness. We're moving on from your wrongness. Quite frankly, I hate that I drove the Miata.
Because now you're spoiled.
Okay.
Oh, you want one now, don't you?
I want one a lot.
I have 2 in my driveway right now.
So part of one of the crappy things about our job is very easy to get jaded and hate life. So like, you'll hear this from a lot of people for a lot of things. If you do what you love for a living, like if you do something you like for a job, eventually you stop liking to do that thing when you're not working. Right? Like you want to separate your work life, even though that's the thing you used to like to do. You don't want to do that when you're not working anymore. And it sort of gets that way occasionally for me for driving. Like I still like driving, but the amount of times where just in the afternoon after my day's done, I've decided to go, hey, I'm just going to go for a random drive to nowhere and then come back home, has dropped off dramatically. All I wanted to do when I had the Miata was just drive it nowhere. All the time. It made me enjoy driving again. I mean, just immediately I'm like, this is great. I love all of it, all the time. Steering wheel, fantastic steering. Some of the best I've ever had. Way up there with the Porsche Cayman S. The shifter, better than the Porsche, hands down.
Oh, yeah.
The shifter on that Miata is so perfect.
Now the NB generation, I can say, is a decent shifter. It's really nice, but the NC one is simply incredible. I don't know what they changed, but it is perfect. It just falls right in the gear, and they're so close. Oh, absolutely amazing.
So Finns has hopped in. Oh, hey, Hulty! Hi, Hulty!
Hi, LT.
Finns has jumped back in. He says, I have a smart top module on my 2012 SE. 2012 SE what? He says you can put the top up at speeds up to 28. Oh, his convertible. Got it. This is one of the guys who was at the Miata gathering that I just had. So he has a smart top module on his 2012 SE Miata, so he can actually put the top up at speeds up to 28. So that sounds like something that might be a worthy upgrade.
Smart top mod. Is that like is that an aftermarket, or is that actually
that would be an aftermarket thing?
Yeah, definitely.
So the Fiat 500 looks like a tin can that's been opened, says Hulty.
Thank you, Hulty.
Oh God, Finn says the side radar on the Jeep got stuck in the beep 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 mode for about 20 minutes while in fully beach. The touchscreen randomly reboots. You can turn things on and watch it turn off again. Sometimes the suspension doesn't raise back up when moving, so it's like riding in a lumber truck. And the memory seating sometimes doesn't remember to move.
Okay, the U.S. government has a thing called lemon law. I might want to take that up to consideration.
We've got another one. The auto headlight dimmer camera died in the first week. The factory forgot to plug in the door electronics on the driver's side.
Dude, take that sucker back, man.
Wow, sounds like someone was drunk when they built that car.
That was built at 5 o'clock on a Friday. And they had already cracked the cans of Miller Lite. Like, you need to take that car back. I love the Jeep, and that makes me really sad because Fiat and Chrysler, they're doing good stuff with quality, but rough, man. That's sick.
Yeah, but so anyways, back to the Miata. So Mazda brought it to me, and I went on a road trip. I really like pie. And my wife makes some of the best pie in the world. So her father, my father-in-law, lives in northern Wisconsin, and on the way to his house is where you can go to pick fresh cherries that are great for pies. One of the biggest areas for that in the country is in a place called Door County, Wisconsin. So I'm like, Mazda said I need to go on a road trip in a convertible. Between me and your dad is pie. Let's make this happen. And so I drove all the way to Wisconsin to get some pie in a Miata. By the time I got all the way back home and they came to pick the car up, I'd put 2,200 and some odd miles on it.
You were a lucky man.
And every one of them was an amazing thing. I learned a lot. I learned I am a convertible guy. Like, I never thought I would be. Like sunroofs, I don't like sunroofs. When I get press cars with them, I leave the little stupid flap shut. I don't open the sunroof ever. I hate it. I spent... Except for when the car was parked, I spent maybe an hour and a half in the whole time I was driving that thing with the top up. That was it.
Okay, on that topic, how is the noise level in the car with the top up?
Still noisy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Miata is a naturally noisy car. You can't get around that. It's just the nature of it.
It feels and sounds like there's no real sound deadening anywhere else in the car. So the top may be thicker and more insulated now, but like the floor pan still isn't, and the firewall still isn't, and the door panels still aren't. So there's still just noise everywhere.
But I'll give you a challenge. Drive my NB, then jump in the NC. You'll sound like you're driving like a 3 Series.
That may be the truth, but I don't have one of those to compare. But I like it because for me it's like, well, okay, one of the big reasons to have the hardtop up is gone because it's not that quiet. So boom, another reason to leave top down all the time. I drove with the top down in the rain. You just go a little bit faster and you're fine. The only time I got wet was when I got stuck behind somebody going really slow. And then I was like, oh God, I need to stop and put the top up. I need to stop and put the top up. Because, like, at above 45 or so, like, unless it was really heavy rain, I don't think you'd get wet. Like, I was driving 45, 50. Yeah, and it all just goes right over the top.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, I stopped to about 30 to get when this car pulled out behind me, and it was like, oh, man, am I wet. Oh, so
Miata is not a Jeep. It's not designed for that.
Yep, Fins has jumped in again. I swore I'd never have another American car again, but I gave it a chance.
Well,
Never
hey,
again.
first of all, Finn, there's no such thing as an American car anymore. They're not American. They're built in Mexico, they're built in Canada, they're built here, they're built there.
Ford F-150.
Yeah, the F-150, I was going to say.
But isn't the F-150 still partially built in Mexico?
Nope.
So last I knew it was.
The F-150 just came out, some report, I wrote an article about it, that the F-150 is the most American-built truck there is.
Most American-built car there is.
With more than,
90%?
It's more than 75% is what the report said, but it's closer to, 90%.
Yeah, well, to be on the list was more than 75%.
Yeah.
Yeah, but still, again, there you have it. There's still no such thing as an American car because parts are coming from here and there and all over the place.
He says, for what it's worth, the trunk and the power retractable hardtop Miata is actually bigger, not much bigger, but it's bigger. According to Mazda's website, the trunk space number that they give you, like 5.3 cubic feet or whatever, is exactly the same for the soft top NC and the hardtop NC. That's by their website. I didn't have them both to try and cramp things in and compare, so I just know that I had the one.
And I will give the Lexus that I had, the Lexus IS 350C F Sport that I had, when the top is up, you could, it's a trunk, it's like a truck bed back there. Load hay in there or something. It's so massive. It's so long because it's from the rear door, from the door to all the way back. Yeah, it's massive. But as soon as you put the top down, it literally goes from 4 feet long by whatever to literally about that. And there's a little partition. There's a little partition to keep your stuff from getting smushed.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Fins also agrees that the NA and Beach noise vehicle or noise vibration and harshness compared to the NC, there's a big difference. So he is confirming your thoughts there, Justin. But anyway, so yeah, the freaking Miata. God, it's amazing. And I really want one. And it helped me meet some of the coolest people in the world. Driving down the road, when I was in the Porsche, people would be like, cool, that's a Porsche, or people would be like, you're a giant douche and I want to crash into you. That's all there ever was. When you're in the Miata, everyone looks at you and everyone smiles and everyone seems to be happy about it. And then when you pass somebody else who's driving a Miata, they all smile and nod, like they understand. They're like, yes, you, sir, you are enjoying life. Bravo.
That's a fun
Bravo,
thing.
back to you.
Is it like the Jeep Wave?
I guess so. I've never owned a Jeep, so I don't know what the Jeep Wave is.
Yeah, you suck.
But and so here in town, as soon as I found out I was getting a Miata, I was on Facebook chatting with this car group that's in town. I'm like, I'm getting a Miata, and then I'm like, boom, there's a local area roadster club called Knox Area Roadsters. They actually got me a T-shirt. I'm an honorary member of Knoxville Auto Roadsters, and it's a Miata-based club. And within a day, they had helped me arrange this huge get-together. We all came out, we met up, and we talked, we hung out, we did car stuff, and they've got big cool modifications and supercharger kits and lowering kits and rear diffusers, and we all just hung out. We did a bunch of pictures. It was just the most awesome thing ever. A huge, great bunch of guys, and everyone that I met who drives a Miata was like that. Nobody was rude and hateful like you get in a lot of car scene stuff, A lot of the car scene is, I'm a Honda guy. If you're not a Honda guy, that's the end of it. Think about the muscle car stuff, right? If you're a Camaro guy, if you see someone in a Mustang, you want to physically vomit on them because they drive a Mustang. That's how all these people act. With the Miata, nobody cares. We like cars and we like driving. Hi.
Yeah, isn't there one guy in that club that has that just sold his Miata and bought a Honda?
So there is one guy in that club. His name is Josh. He's a photographer guy. He has commitment issues, he says. Basically, he buys a car, he mods it the way he likes, and as soon as he gets done, he's like, I have to get rid of it. And so he had a Miata, did a whole bunch of stuff, sold it, and now he's got a Civic that he put a K20 in. So he's got a K-swap Civic. Now that it's almost done, he's talking about selling it and getting something else, and he might go back to a Miata again. So, yeah.
Well, in an odd twist of things, Mazda mistakenly sent me a Miata too, so we're gonna have back-to-back reviews on Miata this week and next week. So
Well, they can make the mistake a third time again if they want.
Hey, exactly. But the press lady's like, "Hey, we made a mistake." We're like, "Oh no, that's totally cool. Don't worry about it."
I'll suck it up and I'll have the cloth top. It's okay,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah. Is yours the Grand Touring model?
Yeah. Mine's identical to yours, same sticker price and everything, just a different color. Mine's silver.
I ended up liking the color when the car showed up. I didn't like the color.
Really? How can you not like that color? That's one of the best colors Mazda's ever put on a car.
No, because I'm in a Miata, so by God, I want it in red.
Well, I thought
red.
yours was red.
No, it's like burgundy.
It's red.
That's
No.
close enough.
No,
At least
no,
it's not
no.
silver.
Well, because they
Mine's silver.
sell a red one, like red, like my
I had
Golf
one.
red.
Yeah, I had the red club one last year.
Right, that I want ed. I don't want old man burgundy. I want red.
Hey,
I'm in a
Broad
freaking
Burgundy is a
convertible
cool
sports
man.
Dorothy Manton is a saint. But
Wow.
no, that's the thing. Like, I don't want old man burgundy. I do. I want freaking sports car arrest me red. My God. Ugh. So that was like my only complaint about the car. Is like it wasn't red. I do have to say, after like 10 hours in the car, the seats are a little uncomfortable, but not unbearable.
Maybe that's why I see every Miata ever with like those roller seat covers, like the little bamboo.
If you're buying a Miata for a comfortable road trip, you need your head examined.
Yeah, you're buying the wrong car.
I've driven my Mazda Speed to Florida and back from Pennsylvania twice, and I vow to never, ever, 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 ever do it again. I will tell.
But yeah, like everything about that car is just awesome, and it is all driver focused. Like, so the gauges, you have 5 gauges, huge tack, huge speedo. Right up in the middle, you have oil pressure. When was the last time you saw an actual analog oil pressure gauge in a car?
Yeah, for real.
So
and
rare.
then I've got temperature and fuel. Like, that's it. Again, I have every single option in the entire world. You know what I have sitting in the center of my dash? A 5-inch by 1-inch little dot matrix display that says what station on the radio I'm on.
But I have to tell you, something about that stereo that I complained about in so many other stereos is it has analog buttons. So I'm switching through the Sirius stations. I can just go tick, 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 there's my station. And I don't have to sit there and go bleep, beep, beep.
Yep. When you're dealing with normal FM radio, having a button is not that bad. When you've got 347,000 radio stations to scroll through, you need a freaking knob.
Yes.
Subaru is terrible for that. If you get any one of Subaru's navigation systems, there's no knob. There's not even a real button. It's a touchscreen button.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a button you have to peck on the touchscreen 47 times to get to the radio station you want.
The Honda Fit, one complaint I had on that, the navigation, the big screen, did not have a volume knob. The volume was push button, and it didn't work very well. Yes, there was no volume knob. There was a steering wheel controlled volume, but it was the same response time as the touchscreen. It was awful.
That sucks.
Totally awful.
See, Uconnect and then GM's, all of GM's infotainment systems, you can actually hit a browse button for XM, and it shows all the channel listings, and you can figure out what you want to listen to without having to know what channel it's on.
Yeah, I think pretty much all of them have the browse, but not all of them are that effective.
Hey guys, holy dog piss. Mark, talk to me about Toyota and BMW right now, because we're at like 50 freaking minutes.
Oh my goodness.
What's it matter, dude?
So let's go on to the news.
Okay, the news.
Well, yeah, so Toyota and BMW. Next.
Yay!
I'm just kidding.
Toyota, BMW,
No,
Super.
okay, so, yeah, this is pretty good. It's pretty good. It's pretty cool stuff. All right, so Toyota and BMW, they have collaborated, and we're looking at a new BMW C4 and a new Toyota Supra. So that's really, really cool. Rear-wheel drive. We don't know what's going to be in it. Maybe, hopefully, like a twin-turbo BMW motor.
Oh, I hope.
That would be awesome.
What's really nice about this is they're not going to share bodies. It's not going to be the
No.
Toyota twins.
Yeah, it's going to be. It's just a platform, apparently. So it's going to be you know, of course, anything that BMW designs, it's going to be a decent driver car, hopefully. So for both of these cars, they both need updates. Obviously, the Z4 is starting to get a little old, and the Super, well, the last one debuted in, like, what, 2001, something like that. So it needs to come back. I'm not really into that scene.
In the U.S. was like 1997.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Oh, was
94.
Okay, I don't even know. I'm thinking the NSX or whatever. But yeah, I mean, it's
Well, no, they
it's
sold
good
the
news.
Supers
It's
in,
good
like,
news.
the 2000s, but you couldn't get them in
Yeah, it's in Japan.
Yeah. So anyway, it's very good news. We don't really know a whole lot about it, but we know that the deal is on and that they're talking about doing it. So fingers crossed for that.
I'm going to say I'll believe it when I see it because the Super's been coming back since 1998, and it still hasn't shown up.
Yeah, but we are seeing it now. With all these other old yesteryear sports cars coming back. The time is now. It's going to happen.
Yeah, the time is now, but Toyota is Toyota. So
BMW
Well, hopefully they
BMW
learn from
chassis.
their mistakes with Subaru.
Yeah, BMW chassis, BMW engine, Toyota electric drive, and there we go.
Don't make it a hybrid.
It's what you know it's going to be.
Don't make it a hybrid.
Fins has a comment for YouTube. The browse on Uconnect is great when it works.
Stop it with your
Be
Jeep
a little cynical.
Slander. What is wrong with you? Take your car back and get a new one.
All right.
Your car is a lemon.
Justin, talk to me about awesome Cadillacs with V badges.
Yes, Cadillac is Ving it up here. We have caught
V all the things.
Yes, we caught two Vs at Nürburgring. One is the ATS-V Coupe. The other one is the new CTS-V. Both look absolutely awesome. The ATS-V is looking to have the 3.6 twin turbo, 430 horsepower. The CTS-V is looking to have at least somewhere in the range of 600 horses. No real confirmation on an engine, but probably going to be, I think we're looking at the 6 point, oh no, there's actually no speculation. Yeah, I think it's going to be the LT4. That's pretty much what everyone's thinking is going to be the LT4. But there are some issues about the 4.5 V8. People are talking about that too. And also coming in this is a fun one, the Escalade V Sport.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird, but it's going to be more like a competitor for the new
Most
Navigator.
pointless car ever.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of like a competitor for the Navigator because it's going to have
this one really it's really strange. Like, let's make a sportier model with a smaller engine. Like,
well, keep in mind the V Sport isn't necessarily a quote unquote really a sportier model. It seems like Cadillac's almost using the V Sport badge for its turbocharged 3.6 liter. That's what it seems like they're doing.
Or they're using it like BMW and their M Sport badge, and it's mostly visual stuff.
Yeah, that's true too. But it's going to be more like the competition for the Navigator, which has the new EcoSport 3.6.
EcoBoost, yeah.
Yeah, EcoBoost, I'm sorry. So it's more going to be a competitor for that. Kind of doesn't make sense, to be honest, because you're going from a 6.2 liter down to a 3.6 twin turbo. So, I don't know if Escalade Faithful will be very happy with that. Yeah. But the big news are the two sedan Vs, the ATS and CTS Vs.
And here's my thing with that Escalade, if I want to touch on it real quick. Okay, Ford has spent a lot of money making that EcoBoost a decent truck engine. That 3.6, it's a car motor. I don't know that it's going to be designed and built and strong enough to hold, a lot of people with Escalades tow. They have boats. They want to be able to do that.
That is true, but
I don't know.
Every one of them that tows is going to buy the V8.
Now there is also one other bit of news on the V Sport Escalade is there is the potential. You'll like this, Christian, of a V6 turbo diesel. There's been rumors of GM working on one for this model, so it may end up being that. It's still kind of up in the air right now.
Well, I want to see that 4.5 liter Duramax come out that they finished. But production.
Yes.
They need to build that motor tomorrow.
And
yesterday.
Is that a V6? I haven't heard much
V8.
about that one.
It's basically like the 6.6 Duramax, but basically smaller. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's 4.5 liter V8. I think it's got a hot V, so the turbo's inside the V, and it's very compact. And you can put it in the Silverado, you could put it in the new Canyon, Escalade.
How insane would a Canyon with 700 pound-feet be?
Oh, dude.
That's ridiculous. That would outdo the old Canyon with the 5.3 liter V8.
Oh my god, dude! Shut up and take my money.
All right. You know what? Let's talk about more diesels. Mark, talk to me about an Audi R8.
All right, so you want to go fast and you want to smell like French fry oil? Well, not really, unless you do that sort of stuff. R8 is possibly getting a TDI version. So, yeah, that's going to be kind of cool. We don't know what they're going to do as far as the engine itself. Volkswagen does have that 4.0 liter V8 TDI sitting around. And they've also got that 5 liter V10 that used to be in the Touareg. Could you imagine?
That would be ridiculous.
Yeah. That engine made 310 horsepower and 553 foot-pounds of torque back in the 2000s in the Volkswagen Touareg. But up it for, obviously more power, and we're talking like, 500 horsepower and like 800 pound-feet of torque.
I think this makes a lot of sense because Audi is pushing diesel hard.
Yes.
And I like how Volkswagen is sort of trying to separate Audi from the batch as being the fuel-efficient German option with their diesel. So it's fuel-efficient performance because with all that fancy torque that gives you all that grunt in the beginning. Plus, Audi has that big racing heritage right now. They've won Le Mans, 11 out of the last 12 times or something now with their diesel race cars. Like they have all that diesel power and heritage behind them. It makes a lot of sense to start throwing some of that speed with some oil burning into their sports car. And like where else to start but like the top of the range?
Yeah. The Halo car. And that's the whole point of doing this whole racing series stuff is make the product work and make it provable and make people want to buy it. Then all of a sudden you're offering it in the R8. People go out and shell out money for it.
And they could even get rid of the V8 R8 and have two V10s, so like a V10 diesel and a V10 gasoline.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Audi's already working on this. We already saw it in the RS5 TDI concept.
Yeah.
That already came out. 385 horsepower, 553 pound-feet of torque, and that's just a little V6.
And now the S7 TDI Quattro or whatever that they just announced.
Yeah.
The A7, you mean?
Yeah, the A7, like slightly sportier A7 diesel.
Oh wait. Actually, no. I'm looking at the A6. I didn't catch the 7 one. I didn't catch that.
I think Mark wrote that, didn't you?
Yeah, it was the A7 STDI or whatever, and
but it has like a sport package on it or something.
Yeah, it was basically the sport package. It was way overpriced, but it was a sporty diesel. It was really cool, but yeah, it was ridiculously overpriced. You could pay for years worth of gasoline for what you would save out of this, but it was a powerful car for a diesel, and it was good and sporty. So, I'll give them that. Hopefully, the price will come down eventually, but
it will over time. It's just when these things first come out, they're novel, they're expensive, then the technology gets cheaper.
Yeah, but I'm all for this diesel stuff. I think it's great.
All right, so we're gonna move on. Justin, tell me about Cadillac's great day and Infinity's terrible day.
Yes, Johan I hope I don't pronounce his last name wrong, the Neisgen, I think that's right, has left Infinity and left Audi, jumped to Infinity. Now he's left Infinity after 2 years of basically rebuilding it and changing every single thing they do. And now he's heading over to Cadillac, which may be why we're seeing so many Vs. He is one of the great minds of the automotive industry, I think, especially in a luxury brand. He knows how to take a luxury brand that has a ton of potential, package it up and say, here, this is how you make it work. But then he leaves. It seems to be his MO here lately. He builds these brands, says, hey, I'm going to make it awesome. Then he says, okay, you take over. I'm moving over here to build these guys now. He's almost like your friend at the Miata Club. He's has car commitment issues.
Yeah.
Rebuilds one company, says, okay, now you play with it. I'm going to go play with these guys.
Yeah, he's like a consultant. So.
Yeah, really. He really is. But now he's taken over.
He's getting paid enough.
Oh, yeah, and he's taken over a big wig job. I think it's higher than he was in Infinity.
Yeah, he can't be higher than he was at Infinity. He was the head.
Oh yeah, he was the head
Infinity.
of Global. Yeah, he was the head of Global. Yeah, so yeah,
he was Infinity.
Yeah, he just moved sideways.
He is the head of the world.
He moved sideways. But this means huge things for Cadillac because now Cadillac has someone. No, it means huge things for Cadillac because now Cadillac has a guy in charge who's willing to change things up, willing to shake it up a little bit and make the brand better. He's not afraid to release, things like that, the Eau Rouge or whatever it's called. Not afraid of that. And that kind of makes me wonder what's going to happen with that car. Now that he's gone, are they going to keep pushing it, or are we going to have what we
surely they will.
No, I think they have to. With with the way it's been built, if they cut that now, that'll ruin them. Because remember, up until 2 years ago, Infiniti didn't even exist outside of the United States, and they've just made this big global push, and they're using a lot of these things to build brand recognition and cachet. If they kill that car now, they're going to ruin what they spent the last 2 years building.
Yeah, but so often we see executives leave, then suddenly the entire plan goes to crap. The entire plan goes away, and it's okay, we're going to do this now. We don't see any profitability in this, or this. We see it very often. I mean, all these car manufacturers change their plans. This car's off, this car's back on. Okay, now I'm in charge, so this car's on and that car's off. It just makes me nervous that we may see Infiniti kind of brush this under the rug and act like it never happened. Say, well, it's a great design study, but it's gone now. But for Cadillac, this means we're going to see a whole lot of really good stuff coming out of them. I'm excited to see what he's going to do with them.
Well, we'll get to Cadillac El Rouge.
Yeah, Cadillac Rouge.
All right, moving on. We have finished the news. We did the whole news section in like 12 and a half minutes.
Wow.
Go us.
That was kind of intense there.
Yeah, it was. Okay. Questions and answers. Starting with Gary Davis. I am very curious. What car would each of us pick as the most beautiful car we have ever seen? And I had him clarify, it doesn't matter if you've seen it in person or seen it in pictures, which is what's the prettiest thing you've ever seen.
Ooh.
Audi R8.
Really?
I just like, it's pretty. I don't know if it's the most.
Well, you know what?
Then again, the Corvette C3, 71.
Your dad's car. Yep, good choices.
I will go with that. The C3 Corvette.
I am gonna. So, a Lamborghini Miura is absolutely beautiful. I've never seen one in person though. Jag E-types I have seen in person, and those are gorgeous. Ugh, I don't know. There's so many really, really beautiful cars out there.
Justin, did you do your homework and pick this car out?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yes.
Speak your mind.
I went with what car I saw in person. I could go left, right, up, and down with what cars I've seen online and pretty pictures. Cars that I've seen in person, the most beautiful car is the Fisker Karma.
Okay.
The curves,
it's attractive.
The massive long front end, the huge wheelbase, the beautiful cabin, and driving it is simply amazing. Second, in person, I match up with you, Mark, is the R8. I saw one of those in person, and it's a stunning car to see in person.
You know, there's a lot of those around Knoxville. Christian, I'm sure you see a lot of them.
That I'm aware of, I know of 5.
Well, I used to see those 5 all the time then.
There are 2 hardtops and 3 convertibles that I know of. One of the convertibles is a V10. It's red.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah. But I mean that the Fisker Karma is a great choice, and I just want Bob Lutz's version with the
yes VL or whatever it's called.
So the Karma's beautiful, but I liked the Surf better. I saw the Surf in person at the New York Auto Show in 2011.
Mm-hmm.
So the Surf was the Karma, but it was like a Karma wagon. That thing was beautiful.
I remember that.
I think that actually though the most beautiful car I've ever seen is the Aston Martin V12 Vantage Zagato. So Zagato, the styling house in Italy, took the Aston Martin V12 Vantage, and they made this car that was kind of mean and cool looking, and just draped it in sex and beautiful. They rounded off all the sharp edges. They largened up the grille. They put their signature little like double bubble roof thing on it. They rounded the rear bumper in, so it was all just a lot smoother and a lot sleeker. And it was in this awesome red color. That's probably the most beautiful thing I've seen. I saw that for about 45 seconds at an auto show being rushed through this room. So, all right. Yep, there we go. We're going to move on. Fred Grant. Hey, guys. Oh, shit, this is going to be a long one. We need to make this kind of quick. Hey, guys. Actually, you know what? We're going to do like we did that one day where we're going to do this at the end of this episode. So we'll say the episode's over, and then we'll take 5 minutes to answer your question afterwards, Grant, because we are Fred Grant, because we are like way over time. All right. So Steph Mariut says, "Hey guys, most of us who visit TopSpeed daily are still new to the automotive industry. Would it be cool if we could reserve 5 or 10 minutes of our show to create a little automotive glossary, something to help them learn faster, or?" Well, I don't know, he says. You know what I mean, right? I don't exactly know what you mean.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I want to throw this.
Right, The rubber part that hold the road.
No. So like I want to throw this out to everyone listening and watching and stuff. Do you think this is a good idea? Are there things that we say that when we start talking, you're just like staring at your computer screen going, So like if there's anything like that or anything that you think we should spend more time explaining or that you'd like to just have explanations from us, let us know. Hit those comments, hit us on the Twitter, or send us an email. And I will make sure we get that done. Even if we can't do it in the podcast, maybe we can get some pieces written up for you guys, or we can do some standalone video stuff, something. But if this is something you guys are interested in, let us know, and then we'll do what we can to make it happen for you. Because
and I will say this one thing too. Our commenters are really nice. If you go to other sites, YouTube or some other automotive places, they'll tell you apart for asking the wrong question or saying the wrong thing. Ask a question here, and no one's going to tear you apart. So just ask it in the comments, and we'll answer it.
Well, I think a lot of that is because we actually get involved. It's not just a bunch of random BSers in there. It's actually us also talking to these people. Yeah. So I think they're a lot more respectful that way.
Yep.
Keep you in line.
All right, let's jump to Own Drive Burn. Thomas Beretta's a jerk.
Yes.
So Thomas Beretta has given us 3 cars for Own Drive Burn. We have a Ferrari 250 California, a Ferrari 250 Berlinetta from 1959, and a Ferrari 250 Zagato. And I'm going to go first because this one is actually easy for me. I am going to burn the living crap out of the Berlinetta. No shit's given. Set it to flame. Then I'm going to drive the 250 California once because it's convertible and it's 250 California and I love it. And then I'm going to drive every day the Zagato. So I burnt the Berlinetta coupe. That I can say. Yes, I burned the Berlinetta because it's a lot like the Zagato, but the Zagato's prettier. So there you go. That one's gone. The Zagato has the slightly revised styling, like I was talking about with the other Aston Martin Zagato. I've got the cool little double bubble roof. Looks great. Interior's changed a bit. I think the car's a little bit faster. So that would be the one I'd keep every day, make mine. I'd drive the California once because then I could say I drove California and it's a convertible and it's beautiful and yay. And then, the other one can just be ashes in the back.
I'm pretty close to you. I would burn the Berlinetta. I think it's the ugliest of the bunch. Just burn it. Although I hate to do it, and I don't want to. I'd have to. Now, I'd want to drive the Zagato just once, just to say that I drove it. I don't know if it's something I want to drive every day because I'm obsessed with convertibles. So I'll go ahead and take the 250 GT convertible, only because, yes, it's a convertible, and I'd probably want to get my hands on the long wheelbase one, just to have a little more room.
All right, Mark.
That's respectable. Well, I'm gonna second you, Justin, because the Berlinetta, I don't really care about. The Zagato, I'll drive it once because it's kind of cool. And I'll take the 250 California because Bueller.
I was gonna make that comment, but I reserved it. I didn't do it, and you go and do it.
I go and do it, because that car is awesome. It's so iconic, and to have a movie car would be really cool. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's what I would do.
All right, cool. I almost took the California because I like having I never knew I was a convertible person until now, but it appears that I am a convertible person. But I really like the Zagato. So there you go. Technically, this has been the TopSpeed.com podcast. If you would like to stick around and listen to how to sell your car, that's going to happen after our outro music and whatnot. Again, thank you everyone who is watching us live. Thank you to everyone who's listened in. We appreciate all of you. If you want to get a hold of us, you can reach us in the comments on TopSpeed.com. You can leave comments in the YouTube feed. You can also reach us by email, podcast@topspeed.com, or you can reach us on Twitter @TopSpeedPodcast. If you want to reach me directly on Twitter, I am @Moeferd. That is MOEFERD. You can reach Justin @TheCarJunkie, and you can find Mark @MarkMcNabb. Again, I want to thank everyone who stayed and listened, and we hope you guys had a wonderful time. I'm going to play some music where the show's going to be technically over, and then we're going to come back and cover that last little question.
But none of you are allowed to leave.
Well, whatever. All right. Mute your mics, homies. Let's get this thing started. Apparently I don't have music.
This is the outro song.
can get the guitar back out.
Yeah, do that.
Well.
Anyway, so now we're echoey.
Yeah, I'm trying to fix the echo. Okay, echo is fixed. Hold on one sec.
Justin, your mic is still muted.
I have a new song. It's not G this time.
It's
C.
F.
C.
The A7th to be mine.
So that was our outro song. Because apparently
We are high class here at the
Aren't we?
Auto.
Well, I don't want to play real songs because the people like. Cause then you have to sit here and watch me just like play a real song and people just like staring and it's weird. You're like,
Okay.
That's weird. Disconnect.
all right. So back to the question. Steph Marriott says, "Hey guys." Oh no, wrong one.
Fred Grant.
Fred Grant says, "Hey guys, I'm currently planning to sell my car and buy a new one. So could you share with us a few tips
Congrats.
on what to do or say so that we can get more money for the car we are selling?" First step is pretty obvious: clean the car. The first step may be obvious as clean the car, but like you want to worry about some money. Seriously, actually clean the car. Don't just take it through a car wash. Vacuum that thing out. If they're not hard to get to, you want to know one thing that's really nice to do? Undo the 4 bolts that hold your seat in. Vacuum underneath your seat. Look at things like a clay bar. If you're afraid of trying to do stuff for yourself, you can spend like $50 and have your car professionally detailed, and it'll look amazing. And that'll be $50 well spent to really push the value of your car up.
Yeah.
Well, I used to do detailing, and $50 is kind of cheap. I don't know if I'd want a $50 detail.
Yeah, well, there's a
in
place in town that does it for
Knoxville,
$80.
$50 is will get you a solid detail job.
Yeah, and here's the thing too. Just go to Home Depot, buy some paintbrushes, and use that as dusters. Like clean the vents, make sure everything. And for God's sake, please make sure all the check engine lights are off on the car. Change the oil. Make sure your tires look good. Make sure they're full of air. Like maintenance stuff too.
Yeah,
Another
tires will add huge to a
Yeah.
used car value.
Yeah, another big thing that a lot of people overlook is if you have a car with higher mileage, say in the 100,000 mile range, go to like a scrapyard, a U-Pull-It scrapyard with a low mileage car that matches yours. Get new brake pedal covers. Get the gear shift knob. It's like $5. You get one that has less wear and tear on it. It actually adds a lot of value to the interior.
I thought you were going to tell them to swap odometers, and I'm like, you are the devil.
No. Just
Go to the junkyard and find a low mileage car, and I'm like, no.
No.
I think that might be illegal.
No, get lower mileage components that are cheap. You can pick up a gear shift knob. Like if I can go to a local scrapyard and pick up a brand new knob, not a brand new one with like 30,000 miles for my Miata. Mine's all worn out for like $10, and that builds a lot of value for the buyer because these knobs get worn out. And
you're my knob.
that is terrible.
Anyway, so
I just want to call
my
you a knob.
advice is like,
Yippee.
look, you guys, shut up. You're weird. Oh my gosh.
I'm not the one that looks like Chuck Norris here.
And that's a bad thing?
It is when you're not Chuck Norris.
You don't know.
Chuck Norris is like 85, so he's saying you look like an 85-year-old man.
Well, if I look like Chuck Norris when I'm 85, I'll be pretty happy. Not gonna lie. So anyway, my advice, look at the car like you were going to buy it. If you see something wrong that would make you not want to buy that car, fix it.
Yeah, and do not hide anything from the buyer. If the
No.
buyer sees something that you did not tell them about or you told them was okay, that's immediately going to kill the deal right there. If your car leaks a little bit of oil, tell him, yes, I get a drop or two of oil leaked every night. Tell them that. If they look under your car and see the oil, they're just going to walk away because they're going to wonder what else is wrong with the car.
Yep. Obviously, all this does come to a point. Like, if you're only looking to get $3,000 or $4,000 from your car, don't spend $2,000 fixing it. But within reason, fix things that are cheap to fix. Like, if there's been one little thing, like, oh man, the little light bulb in the center dome light has been out for like a year and a half, and you never bothered to replace it. Take 5 minutes of your day, spend $5, and replace it. Having all of those little things work makes a huge difference, because when someone gets in your car and they're worried about buying something, they're going to be like, oh, well, this one thing doesn't work. And if it's just one thing, like, well, okay, that's one little thing. But then one more little thing, and one more little thing, and one more little thing. And they start thinking about all the things that they need to fix, and they start thinking, well, if all this little stuff is broken, what about all the other big stuff? Did he bother to take care of that correctly or anything like that? So
Yeah.
just really be smart about it. That was a great tip of think about what you would be looking for if you were going to buy a car and fix those things. If it's simple and it's cheap, just do it. Change the oil, make sure your tires are good, do the brakes, and if you can, get paperwork. If you're going to walk up to me with a receipt that says, hey, I got my clutch replaced 6 months ago, that's a lot better than you just saying, yeah, it was done.
Yeah. Have all your stuff in a file. I do that with my personal car. Everything, every receipt, besides gas, obviously, every oil change that I do, I save the receipt, tires, rotations, all that sort of stuff. It's right there. And rotations and stuff that I do, which are all of them, I write the date on a piece of paper.
Document
And I
it
have
somewhere.
all of my dates for oil changes, what oil, what filter, and the tires, what my mileage was, and what the date was.
See, that I would buy a car from Mark.
You can, it's for sale. You want to buy it?
No, because I think you have a terrible car.
And you play drums on a steering wheel.
I said I would buy a car from you, not I would buy your car.
My Trailblazer's awesome. Thank you very much.
I hate Trailblazers, but I'm not an SUV guy in general.
Yeah, you suck at life.
Yeah, whatever. I'll take my sports cars. Whoop whoop. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that has actually been the show. I'm gonna end this thing because, my God, we've been on here for 147 hours. We're at an hour and 25 minutes.
This is the longest show we've ever done, sort of, almost.
Yes.
And it was supposed to be short.
Okay, so Hulty says, would be nice if you guys could give us some direct links for Facebook and Twitter and stuff. All right, well, if you go to the actual TopSpeed.com podcast webpage on TopSpeed.com, I put a lot of that stuff in there. Like the iTunes links and stuff are there. A lot of the posts, if you see like the @TopSpeed podcast and it's blue for Twitter, you can like click on that and that'll take you to the actual Twitter site, stuff like that. But I will make sure on this exact episode on both the YouTube and on the actual post that goes live on the website that I will have links for all three of our direct Twitter accounts, the TopSpeed Facebook account, the TopSpeed podcast Twitter account, and anything else I think I should add. They're not going to go to your Instagram because they can find that on your Twitter because that's all your Twitter is.
I don't post everything to Twitter.
I
Yes,
sure
you kinda
hope
do.
not.
Anyways,
What's
show's
that supposed
over.
to mean?
Thank you guys. Oh, and Hulty said auto-tune, dude. Yeah, I know I can't sing. That's why I play the guitar. The end. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is the TopSpeed.com podcast. Thank you for hanging out with us. A big thank you to Hulty and Finn. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. We really appreciate it. We will see everybody next Thursday. As always, please have a safe and wonderful weekend. Please have an awesome Friday, and we will see every one of you next week. Goodbye, world.